Welcome everyone to Module 4 of the course. Module 4, I apologize. Welcome to Week 8 or Module 8 in the course. For this week we're going to look at Chapter 10. And in Chapter 10 we're going to move a little bit away from the studying of the variables in a regression analysis to now looking at panel data and some of the effects with panel data and what we can learn from panel data. I think it's very important because panel data is very important to our analysis. For this week, you're going to have to read Chapter 10, complete Quiz 4, and assignment number 4. That's going to be your analysis for this week. For in Chapter 10, we're going to be looking at multiple regression. As we realize, it's a powerful tool for controlling for the effective variables on which we have data. If data are not available for some of the variables, however, they can not be included in the regression, and the OLS estimators of the regression coefficients could maybe have omitted variable bias. And that's a challenge when we're selecting variables and we have a bias, when we actually didn't select that variable. In this chapter, we're going to describe a method for controlling some types of omitted variables without actually observing them. This method requires a specific type of data called panel data, in which observational unit or entity is observed at 2 or more time periods. By studying changes in the dependent variable over time, it is possible to eliminate the effect of omitted variables that differ across entities but are constant over time. The empirical application in this chapter concerns, we're going to look at drunk driving. What are the effects of alcohol taxes and drunk driving laws on traffic fatalities? We address this question using data on traffic fatalities, alcohol taxes, drunk driving laws, related variables for the 48 U.S. states for each of the 7 years from 82 to 88. This panel data lets us control for unobserved variables that differ from one state to the next, such as prevailing cultural attitudes toward drinking and driving, but do not change over time. It allows us to control for variables that vary through time, like improvements in safety of new cars, but don't vary across states. So the use of panel data is going to be very important for our analysis. It's going to key in on a lot of important components of how data is derived and what we use with data. And a lot of people don't recognize the importance of the role of data. So for this week, you have your assignment that you have to submit, and you have quiz number 4. Quiz number 4 is going to be due by Saturday. You get one attempt, and you get 40 minutes to complete that one attempt. So really make sure to focus on getting that attempt in early to do well. Now, some of the questions you might see on the quiz are the following. If included both time and entity fixed effects in regression model, which includes a constant, what does that mean about binary variables? What is the regression error in panel data? In the fixed effects regression model, you should exclude one of the binary variables for the entities when an intercept is present in the equation. What are you trying to avoid when that occurs? Which of the following, I'm going to give you a list, which of the following is in which entity and time fixed effects could be used? What's the study of this? What's it looking at? What is panel data called? What type of data are we collecting? When we look at the binary variable specification, it produces identical OLS estimates. What are we looking before and after with that specification? The fixed effects regression model. What is this looking at with regard to intercepts? The difference between an unbalanced and balanced panel is what? The main advantage of using panel data over cross-sectional data is what? What is the main reason when you look at omitted variables and observing them? And the last question is going to be looking at time fixed effects regressions, and they're useful in dealing with omitted variables. What is it illustrating? So those are some of the concepts we're going to look at for this week. As you know, you have your assignment. Focus on the components of the assignment, fully developing your work. But I look forward to your analysis this week, and I wish you the best.